Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel's Scientitst COF, and today I've got the One Piece chapter 1061 to discuss. Now I want you guys to like the video and drop a comment down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with the latest One Piece chapters I got coming out on this channel. Now without no further ado, let's get into some One Piece. And it opens up on the Sunny, and it carries on from what happened after chapter 1061. And as we know that we saw Julie Bonnie, she got saved by the Strawhats, and as she's been launched into the air, and so was Chopper, Luffy's gone to rescue them. He's managed to grab them, but at that time they noticed something in the water, and well, it's Chopper who notices this in the water, and it's this giant megalodon shark that's just beneath the surface. It looks like I think pretty sure this is a callback to the movie Jaws. Now, as this shark comes out of the water to attack, the Sunny manages just to escape, and it seems like this shark is made out of metal. Zoro mentions this, it has to be made out of metal, because he says, what is this thing? And as the Sunny managed to just dodge this shark, the shark manages to come back around, and like I said, Luffy and Chopper have fell into the sea at this point, so now Jinbei's had to dive overboard to go and rescue them. Now he tells Frankie to grab the helm, and he's going to go save Luffy and Chopper. Now he manages to do this, he manages to jump in and rescue them. Frankie takes control, and he does this sea maneuver called rabbit screw, where he's able to dodge this rocket, because this cyborg shark has shot some sort of rocket or torpedo at the Sunny. So now they managed to dodge the explosion, but the explosion has managed to launch them into the air and capsize the Sunny. And as they're falling into the water, Jinbei is still swimming underneath to rescue Chopper and Luffy, and Julie Bonnie. He manages to save her as well. And Luffy's like, what was that ringing? What was that explosion sound I just heard? Because he's probably just heard the explosion from the Sunny. Now Jinbei says to hang on in there, because they're heading to the surface. Now just as Jinbei gets to the surface, the shark is like to the left of him. So Jinbei pops up, and then the shark is like coming at him from this side. And the shark again, it opens up its cannon to fire at Jinbei and Luffy, and they manage to dive. Jinbei manages to dive under the water. He tells the three of them to hold their breath. And as he does, the explosion pushes them further underneath the waves, and this cyborg shark, only in One Piece would this happen, guys. And this cyborg shark, it notices the Sunny as it's sinking, and the other Straw Hats who are under the water. As the shark goes to attack it, this even bigger, like giant underwater mech robot attacks the shark and makes it retreat. Now, as the rest of the Straw Hats are under the water, Luffy's under the water, but the other Straw Hats that were still on the boat, so Brook, Nami, Sanji, Zoro, Brook, like I already said, Brook, Usopp, they're all still on the Sunny. But then we don't know what happens, because it cuts to the naval branch G14, and we see a Tashigi, and she's with the giant kids from Punk Hazard, and they've managed to they started the process of healing the young kids, because as we know, they were being experimented on by Caesar at Punk Hazard. Now it mentions that they're getting a lot better. They're shrinking, so they're going back to their normal size, so maybe in no time there'll be normal sized children again. But also in this chapter we do get to meet Vice Admiral Doll, the base commander. And I'll be honest, she's got this like punk rocker aesthetic. She's got the spiker chain and the short pixie hair. But she says to Tashigi, can't we do anything about Helmeppo? And she's like, I can't blame him. Kobe's a valued member of the Marines, his best friend, and he's in danger. Can you blame him? And we see Helmeppo with Hibari, who's another member of Sword. She's a subordinate of Kobe, I assume. And they're begging the Rear Admiral Prince Goss to take the Seraphim pacifistas and go to Pirate Island to go and rescue Kobe. Now Prince Goss, he kind of looks like a cross between Bellinger and now Prince Goss. He's there with his subordinates who are like these shoes roided out marine men, but he says no. You've lost your fucking mind, Helmeppo. We're not going to Full Lead Island. We haven't heard anything from Drake. So we're not going to do anything, and it's out of our hands. So it says there's a reason why it's called Full Lead Island. There's constant shootouts. Our men will face heavy casualties just to rescue Kobe. Now it's kind of heartbreaking to see this, because we see that how Mappo's grown over the years and he's come to value Kobe as a leader and friend. But now we cut back to Team Luffy, and this consists of Luffy, Chopper, Jewelry Bonnie, and Jinbei, and they're in this cave, and they've been rescued. Jinbei rescued them, and they're like drying off their clothes, and Jewelry Bonnie's like, how do you not recognize me? Do you not know who I am? I'm a member of the Worst Generation 2. I was at Sabaody 2. My name's Jewelry Bonnie, by the way, and just to be clear, we are enemies, but I have to thank you for saving me. So Jewelry Bonnie, she does have honor. She's an honorable pirate, and she even mentions like, what's up with your bounty poster, by the way, because your hair's all white in it. And Luffy's like, that's when I'm most free. And that's sort of explanation we get on it. But what do you guys think is going on with Luffy's awakening? Is Luffy aware of it? Is that just what he calls his awakening? But either way, we're going to find a lot more about his food in the upcoming chapters. And Jinbei mentions to her, what about your ship and crew? And she's like, well, I came here alone. And then that metal monster attacked my ship and ate me and ate the ship. Now, I don't know what's happening in terms of Jewelry Bonnie and the Reverie. I'm assuming after the Reverie, she just escaped and made her way, and that's how she's ended up where she is now. You guys can comment down below and tell me your thoughts on it. But she does mention, I can't believe you have Jinbei, the first son of the sea, on your crew. But Luffy does mention that the rest of his crew is fine. We don't need to worry about them. Wherever they are, they'll be fine. But later on, Luffy's like, not straight after, Luffy's like, I'm so hungry. He needs to find a restaurant, and Bonnie's like, that's not going to happen. Let me explain. We're on Egghead Island. This place is 500 years into the future. They're on the home of Dr. Vegapunk, guys. The home of well, not the home, but the island that houses his laboratory. And Bonnie says she wants to go and see Vegapunk. We don't know why. Wow. I believe it's to do with what happened with Kuma and him being converted into a pacifista, but there's still some more information we need to find out in the next chapters, but I think Kuma willingly did this and Vegapunk was in on it. Now, the final scene of the chapter, we see the Sunny and the rest of the Strawhats, so the ones that aren't with Luffy. So everyone besides Luffy, Chopper, and Jinbei are all together, and they've been rescued. Like, we see them they're still floating in. I don't believe they're floating in the water, but they've made it to land. They've made it onto Egghead Island, and that giant robot emerges from the water carrying the Sunny. It's like this underwater iron giant type creature, type machine, and everyone's reactions are varying. Obviously, Usopp and Rob. Obviously, Usopp and Frankie are excited by this. Frankie being an inventor and creator himself, and the helmet, I believe, of the ship of this giant robot opens up, and it turns out it seems to be some sort of ship. And this is where we see the reveal of Dr. Vegapunk. After 20 plus years of waiting to see Vegapunk, we finally get the reveal. And Vegapunk is seems to be a young, attractive woman, no older than Luffy, so about 22, 23 at a push. And Vegapunk does mention, blasted, another failure. She says, why isn't it possible to control the urge of living creatures? So this shark used to be a living shark and got converted into a cyborg like I originally thought. Usopp and Frankie says, I don't know who that is, but thank you for saving us. And Vegapunk mentioned, the only thing I ordered the shark to do was to recon, report, and bombard. But Vegapunk mentions, I didn't want the shark to eat anything, because then no valuables are left behind. And she says, now, just a moment, you filthy pirates. Who said anything about saving you? I'm just a humble scientist of the world government. Now, does this mean Vegapunk's going to attack the rest of the Straw Hats and maybe try and put them under arrest? I don't know. Because that's the end of the chapter. We don't find out what else happens. We don't know what happens after this. You guys can comment down below and tell me your thoughts. What do you think is going to happen with Jewelry Bonnie? I believe that we're going to find out more about what happened at the Reverie in terms of what happened with Sabo and the revolutionaries, because I believe Bonnie may have witnessed some of it, and so she can help Luffy, so she can help shed some light to Luffy. In terms of how Meppo been at G14, because he does mention they're not too far from Blackbeard's Island. So do you think they're gonna try and later on maybe do some sort of attack? I don't see it happening, because based on who's at the G14 base, they would be slaughtered. And what do you think Vegapunk is going to teach us about devil fruits? Obviously, we're going to find out a lot about its origins, where devil fruits come from. But you guys tell me your thoughts on that, because that's the end of the chapter, guys. I'm 36 COF. You keep it fresh and keep it funky. Goodbye.